is a fun question. Are doctors always trustworthy, Dean?
Because Indonesia is one of the countries with the highest number of tuberculosis cases.
Even though I believe that religion can help you with your mental health, I do not think it is the end-all be-all cure for every single mental issue.
What's that popular one? Minyak tawon. I swear by minyak tawon. Yeah, you know minyak tawon, the big old green bottle with the picture of a bee at the top.
Welcome back to our speaking podcast where we are speaking in English. You can use this as your listening material. We are going to be answering some questions. They are IELTS questions part 3, but we're not going to be strict with only answering the question, right? We're going to talk about other things too. So,
hello everybody. In case you forgot who I am, it is I, Mr. Dean. Once again, I'm here at Weena, ready to go off the rails about everyday topics that we might or might not be talking about. Since today we're going to be talking about, was it crime, health, and retirement? We're bound to say some crazy stuff.
First question, how often do people in your country go to the doctors? You go first.
I would say that a lot of people in our country, especially as they get older, maybe in their 40s or 50s, they would go to the doctor quite often, especially if they have some underlying health issues. One of the most common ones being, I'd say, diabetes. I know a lot of people, young and old, that have diabetes, and they would always visit their doctor, sometimes, some of them monthly, some of them every few months, and in some cases I know a couple of people that go every other week. And the reason they do that is to check their blood pressure, their blood sugar, check everything, make sure everything's normal. Because the last thing you want to do is be someone with a really, really serious condition and you can't go back, basically.
Why do you think a lot of people in Indonesia, especially those who are older, have diabetes?
From people I know, I'd say a lot of it is hereditary.
Hereditary diabetes?
Yeah.
It's passed on from your parents?
I would say so, yeah. Because I know quite a few people that, whether it be from their parents, their grandparents, I've had some people tell me that apparently amongst Javanese people, diabetes is quite common. So.
Oh, is it true, guys? Like, do you guys think that's true? I do know that some people have diabetes or they're pre-diabetic. I know that. But I didn't know that it was passed on from their parents. But I think the most common issue is probably heart problems.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Why the elderly go to the hospital is usually because of heart problems. Even this week, there were like 4 or 5 people that I heard of went to the hospital because of their heart. Yeah. And
what do you think are some reasons that they go to the hospital with heart problems?
It's just horrible lifestyle, horrible diet, not enough, exercise, maybe? But also, it could be like, hereditary genetics, right? So if your parents have heart issues, you have a higher chance of having heart issues as well. So.
Mm-hmm. And a big one, too, is stress.
Are people really stressed in Indonesia?
Yes.
Like, is it really stressful to be here?
I don't know what you guys think, but from the people I know, and maybe their parents, I'd say the average person doesn't deal with stress very well over here and gets quite overwhelming, whether it be from work, family, or an unhealthy balance of both. Stress management in Indonesia, I would say, is not very good, especially those that, I guess you could say, they do negative things to cope with the stress. Number one being smoking. And and smoking will open a whole another can of worms, because Indonesia is one of the countries with the highest number of tuberculosis cases.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because we are also the country with a lot of smokers. Cigarettes here are cheap. Okay, so answering the question, I think people go people don't go that often to doctors. This is my personal opinion. I think they find other, remedies instead of going to the hospital. I think most people avoid it.
I see where you're coming from, because a lot of people in Indonesia, for whatever reason, whether it be cost, accessibility, a lot of people here still use natural medicine. And me personally, I'm a big advocate for natural medicine, because I have the belief that for whatever the earth gives, the earth will also take. So if you consume natural medicine, there's a pretty good chance that you could get better faster. And I've had my own experience of being unwell, and I would go to the doctor to give me medicine and I don't get better. And instead, I would opt to visit a natural healer, and whatever natural medicine they're giving me, I just take it and I suddenly get better like that. So that's why I'm a big believer of natural medicine.
Someone in the comments said, what is this? Suami rumahan. I used to smoke. Since I'm broke, I quit.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
You can save a lot of money.
Being broke is sometimes the biggest factor why people quit smoking.
Especially in this day and age where especially a lot of young people, instead of smoking, they would get vapes. And I would say that being someone that vapes is actually more expensive than smoking because of how cheap cigarettes are in Indonesia.
You know, circling back to your point that you you're one that goes to search for, what is it called? Natural alternatives instead of the chemicals and stuff like that. I am not of the same opinion.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, because I feel like you don't always have to take a pill for something if the doctor recommends it. But there are certain cases where you should, right? So I think that we have a lot of scientists and researchers that are always making the best pills possible to solve our particular issue, that it could be more effective if we just take the pill instead of finding a natural alternative. But that's up to you to decide, I guess.
End of the day, it's whatever works. Some people, they can take pills and it makes them feel better. Some people opt in for natural medicine and it's worked better. So it's all about finding what works for you.
This person said, there's no name, but a lot of broke people smoke too.
Yeah, I mean, some people, if they are dealing with stress, whether it be from work, family, or life in general, if they think that smoking is what they do to, I guess, relieve the stress, then so be it. Who am I to judge?
I am of the opinion that if you don't have money, you shouldn't smoke. That is my opinion. All right? Find another way to relieve your stress. Nicotine addiction is only going to cause issues for you in the future. That's what I think. Yeah. But, you do you. I'm just giving out statements at this point. Okay, so next question. Are doctors always trustworthy? This is a fun question. Are doctors always trustworthy, Dean?
Firstly, a disclaimer. This is just my opinion and mine only. So please don't hate me. It's just what I think. I personally think that there's a fine line between a doctor that's trustworthy and a doctor that's just trying to pill push. So for some context, I spent time in the United States and I've had a few interactions with doctors. In the United States, if you see a doctor, you basically pray that it's not a going out of business situation, because some people, when they see a doctor, because of how expensive it is in the US and how ridiculously overpriced health insurance is, it's a very expensive thing. I know what it's like to go to a doctor just for 15 minutes and I get billed like $300, which in rupiah is like what, 5 million around there? Even with insurance, I still get charged that. What do you think?
Doctors should be trustworthy, but capital should, right? Capital, bold, italics, all of it, right? We want doctors to be super trustworthy because we want them to be neutral. We don't want them to have their own agenda. We want them to be like holier than thou, like where they're only interested in curing you. They're a doctor because they want what's best for you. But then again, doctors are also humans, and humans have something called greed, which causes problems for everyone in general. But, we can't blame them because everyone has greed. However, I do believe that if the doctor is found out to be doing something that they shouldn't, they should be punished appropriately, basically. But I think most doctors are trustworthy. This is my opinion. Yeah, most doctors are trustworthy. But when you do meet those that aren't, I think it could ruin the entire experience for you.
Yeah, I feel you when you say that. The situation that makes me go, is when you go to a doctor for whatever reason and with minimal explanation, they just go, oh, take this, take that. Me personally, I'm not a fan of pill pushers because I understand, well, at least in the US, you could take a certain pill, but it's going to cause a problem at, somewhere else in your body.
What is pill pushing? Explain for people who don't understand.
So pill pushers are basically when you go, let's say you go to a doctor and instead of giving you different options for how you could treat your illness, let's talk about, for example, a common cold. in some parts of the world, you got a common cold. They say, oh, just have some chicken soup. Or in Indonesia's case, soto ayam.
Tolak angin.
Tolak angin. But from my experience, at least in the US, some of these doctors, you tell them what's wrong, they just go, all right, here you go. Take this and take it to feel better. So I'm quite 50-50 whenever I meet a doctor that does that. I've also had a couple of unfortunate experiences with doctors where, so there was this one time that I had a pretty bad cut, and the doctor prescribed me with a lot of antibiotics, and the doctor said, finish it all. And it was at least like 15 different antibiotic pills, and when I was barely halfway through, it just destroyed my body. Because when you take antibiotics, it basically kills all the bacteria in your body. Doesn't matter if it's good or bad. So I had really, really severe stomach issues for 3 months. And believe it or not, how did I fix it? I drank 3 Yakults every day.
Yakult is the solution to everything. That's good.
Yeah. After 3 months of being in pain, literally I was like, all right, because Yakult is a probiotic drink. I drank 3 a day, and basically I got better like that. So I guess Yakult works. Again, it's just my personal experience.
Oh, someone said, I don't know how it works, but in Indonesia, the kind of pills available is decided by the hospital. Well, I guess, in a way, right? I have a question. When learning English, should I focus on grammar first or speaking first? Vocabulary first. That's it. Let's see. Okay, so this I'm going to add one final statement. Yeah, I think that doctors are in the same, what is it called? Level as, people who we put our trust in. Like, so basically, judges, maybe. Yeah, you have to be fair. Police officers, military personnel, I think they're on the same level where they should be trustworthy. But unfortunately, humans are imperfect. So, yeah.
It's just the way it is.
All right. So, third question. Will hospitals change in the future?
I would say that, well, a lot of people talk about AI and how AI is going to change our lives. I could see a reality where in the future, however long that may be, we might not even see doctors. I mean,
no.
I think it's genuinely possible.
No.
There might be a reality in the future where we go and we talk to some kind of virtual AI doctor, and especially if it's for, common stuff rather than more serious things. And not only that, but I can also see a reality where this is kind of crazy, but I can see it happening. I don't know how far in the future. I can see a reality where it's going to be robots that are doing surgeries.
Okay, in that case, I agree. I don't agree with the online consultations, when it comes in the ones that are available today. Okay, so I think that it's very important to meet your doctor face to face, because they can actually see the problem, even though it does rely on you explaining the problem. Like, I feel nauseous, I have cold sweats, or I feel like a headache only on one certain part of my head, and stuff like that. However, I think that the doctors have to double check if you actually feel that way. That's what I think doctors should do. So I don't like these chat consultations where you tell the doctor, I have a stomach ache, and then the doctor will be like, okay, here, take some stomach pills. Like that type of chat, where you're chatting your doctor, or the doctors are there for chat 24/7. Unless you're sending videos, sending evidence, sending pictures, I think that's better. But if it's just chat, I don't think it's good enough, Yeah.
Bonehead here says, online consultation is a loophole to get prescribed meds without seeing real doctors, is my take.
Agreed.
I feel you. I definitely feel you.
Yeah, what is that?
Yep, Vanilla Cookie says, yep, doctors should do the physical examination.
Yeah. So I understand how technology can help us. I agree with the movie-like technology. Sorry. I agree with, like how in the movies the robots can scan you and find everything that's wrong, with the X-ray. I think that's a good thing if we can achieve that level of accuracy from our robotics and everything like that. But at the moment, with the new consultation methods that are developing, I don't think it's a good idea. Just go see your doctor, man. And
an important thing to keep in mind too is we could possibly see a reality where people would actually opt in to talk to maybe an AI doctor for the simple fact that it could be much more cost efficient. I mean, I can only imagine how many people out there, instead of going to a doctor, they're going to Google, they're going to ChatGPT or whatever AI exists out there to try and what do you call it? Self-prescribe or
Self-diagnose.
self-diagnose what's wrong with them. A lot of people already do that in this day and age, especially given the fact that health insurance and medical care in different parts of the world could cost a lot of money.
Yeah. So overall, I do hope that doctors, I still think it's important to meet doctors in person and get prescriptions through a doctor. But I have heard of many cases where the doctors are just, they have their own personal agenda, not necessarily money, but they want to treat more patients with this. They want to have more successful cases of treating this certain illness or something. And again, back to my point, humans. Mm-hmm. Okay.
The person with this emoji says, "It is cost efficient, not gonna lie. I went for several online consultations for my skin condition. Just like me." You might not be able to see it, but my whole forearm was really, really bad when I first got back from the US. And I didn't want to go to a doctor because I really think that whatever I had was very logical. And in the end, it was pretty straightforward. I just had a heat rash because I wasn't used to the heat and humidity in Jakarta.
Yeah, heat rash.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Did you have a bad experience? Wait, which one? Oh, she's talking to someone else in the chat. Okay, my bad. I'm like, what experience are you talking about? Okay, so that was our opinion on, hospitals changing or not in the future. I do hope they become better, in general. Is traditional medicine an important part of your culture?
Tolak angin!
Tolak
Jamu!
angin, jamu.
If you know, you know. I mean, I'm personally a big advocate of tolak angin. Tolak angin has single-handedly helped me feel better or make me a lot healthier on different times that I was sick. And I actually know more than a few Americans, being my dad's friends, that they swear by tolak angin. I know a few Americans that when they're in Indonesia, they fill up half their suitcase with just the different tolak angins and bring it back to the United States. What about you?
Yeah, I am not anti herbal medicines. I think there are some herbs and whatever mixtures you want to call it, traditional medicine that are very effective, like concentrated ginseng or something like that, right? That's ginseng. Pretty good. But I think that maybe there should be more information about that. I'm pretty sure there are some online, but I haven't really explored that myself. However, yeah, in Indonesia, it is a huge part of our culture. Yeah.
Nuart here says you should try minyak telon. That's a good point. It's not only limited to medicine that you internally take, but even like the different ointments you put on your skin.
Yeah.
And if you have masuk angin, you can just use the different oils that exist. Minyak telon. What's that popular one? Minyak tawon. I swear by minyak tawon. Yeah, minyak tawon, the big old green bottle with the picture of a bee at the top.
Oh no.
That stuff works. Like I've had parts of my body that really, really hurt. I would use counter pain and it would do nothing, but I would put in minyak tawon and suddenly, boom, next morning I wake up fresh as a daisy. It's a real thing.
Okay, someone asked, I just want to answer this question. Do you have to speak grammatically? You mean grammatically correct on the IELTS interview or just speak naturally? You should aim for grammatically correct, yeah. You should aim for it. However, if you make one or two grammar mistakes, it's fine, but don't make a mistake every sentence. Okay, always choose minyak tawon. Okay, my mama will always choose minyak tawon.
Just
minyak
like
tawon really works. I love minyak tawon.
There you go, minyak tawon fans. Shout out to all you guys.
Do you think traditional medicine can be dangerous though?
Traditional medicine could be dangerous depending on who you're consulting. Like, for example, if you Googled, traditional medicine, and they say, mix this and that, and you do it yourself, and then you drink it, and the next day you drop dead or need to go to the ER, it's pretty dangerous. If you were to take natural medicine, ideally, you get consultation from someone that's an expert. Especially in Indonesia, there's still a lot of people that are natural medicine experts.
The one issue I have with traditional medicine is some of it, or most of it, is maybe not licensed or standardized. And I understand how it's annoying and it could increase the prices if we have to, if we have it join like pharmaceuticals or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. Like if a company has to manage it and everything like that. But I feel like it would be better if we could manage to do that, and limit because sometimes people believe anything they can read on the internet. People believe anything that someone says to them, right? And I believe that it could be dangerous if you are a gullible person, if you don't have critical thinking abilities, if you don't do your own research, or if you're researching in the wrong place. So as much as I love traditional medicine, because I also use a lot of tolak angin, I prefer it to be, you know, standardized. Or there should be some type of body that is approving it, you know.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. And especially in this day and age where social media is super prominent, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I see this one guy on Instagram that swears by, I don't know if you've seen, but imagine his foot, and then there's like onions on his foot, and then he wraps like cling wrap around it, and he swears by that, and he has thousands and thousands of followers online just from doing that.
I think health is a tricky subject, because when people are talking about their health, especially when they're looking for alternative medicines that can be cheaper, or it can what is it called, basically cheaper is the thing, right? Or maybe you just don't like going to the doctors. I think that people are desperate, most of them. They're willing to believe anything, right? So they're like, I don't want to go to the doctors, let's find another alternative. I think that's not a good thing to do either. And in the health industry, it's very easy to prey on people's desperation, right? To find a cure. They're like, no, I want to be cured of cancer. I want my legs to work again. What am I supposed to take? Like, you're on a wheelchair. You don't have control over your legs anymore for years. And then you expect a traditional medicine to, what is it called? Fix everything. And someone is trying to sell it to you. I think that's where I'm a little bit upset with, you know, other types of medicine that is outside of what is regulated. Yeah.
And one thing that also needs to be said, I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if it's some culture, some parts of Indonesia, or just people in general. Some people genuinely view going to the hospital as the ultimate taboo, whether it be because of their personal opinion or because of pride, like, oh, I could never be sick. I'm a strong, wherever you're from, person. Because some people genuinely view going to the hospital as an act of weakness. So there's that mindset in our culture, I would say, because I've met a few of those people. Like, they're sick, their condition's not good, they're getting worse and worse, and they're like, no, I refuse to go to the doctor. No, I refuse to go to the doctor. And even if they do go, if they somehow get dragged to the doctor would give medication or give their advice, they wouldn't follow it.
There's one comment that said many villainize the healthcare system. There are people like that, definitely. Okay. Right. So let's talk about the next question. What makes a person healthy? I know it's a broad topic.
That's a very broad topic.
It's a broad question. Okay, what makes a person healthy?
Gosh. So in my opinion, there's two aspects of health. Physical and mental. Especially in this day and age. How would I explain it? For you to be physically healthy, I guess lifestyle is a big factor. How active you are, your diet, how much sleep you're getting. And those are the things that you can control, but also there are things that you can't control. Like, for example, if your family has a history of heart problems, a history of diabetes, some people are born and they already have these conditions that they inherit. As far as the mental aspect goes, in this day and age, a lot of people have their fair share of mental struggles. And in my personal opinion, I don't know about you guys, in Indonesia, I'd say mental health is still very much frowned upon. A lot of people don't believe in it, and a lot of people cannot grasp the fact that somebody could be mentally unwell. And I say this respectfully and I say this carefully. A lot of people, whenever they have mental health issues, the biggest response they would get is, oh, it's because your faith isn't strong enough.
Oh, yeah. Mental health and religion do not go well together. This is just my personal opinion. Even though I believe that religion can help you with your mental health, I do not think it is the end-all, be-all cure for every single mental issue. Yeah. So there has to be other things that you can explain. Oh, what? Read it.
So Keisha said, control your stress because stress is the core problem with a lot of sicknesses you have. I agree. I'm actually a big believer that stress is the number one killer for anyone. A lot of people I know that would get unhealthy or be really sick, regardless if they're young and old, usually stress is the number one thing that pushes them there.
Yeah, someone in the chat said happiness is the key to living a long life or longevity or something like that, or maintaining your lower stress levels. Yeah.
Yep. Having how would I say it? So in Japan, I don't know if you guys ever watched this documentary. It's called I think 100 or Live to 100. It's on Netflix. It's still there, I believe. So they went to different parts of the world to analyze the different cultures where people live into the hundreds. And the main things that they saw was 1, physical health, 2, diet, and 3, community.
Someone said sports and money. Do you think money is the key to living a long life?
No.
No.
I disagree.
It's happiness and stuff like that, I think.
Well, I don't know.
But if your happiness is eating too much, that could also become unhealthy. So I think living a healthy life, the key word is moderation, probably, right?
Yep.
You cannot over-exercise because it's also bad. Under-exercising is not good. Overeating is not good. Under-eating is also not good. So the key is probably moderation.
Mm-hmm. Freed Pandang Fanda said, control your mind so that you can filter out negative things and stay focused on positive things. That's a real thing. And in my personal opinion, in this day and age, because of social media, the news, or just your general environment, everyone's always talking about all the bad things happening around you. And if all you do is consume negativity, then it's going to affect you, especially if you're someone that's easily influenced by, I'd say, outside factors. Because the last thing you want to do is wake up in the morning, you check your phone, and you just see negative, and then you start your day, and you're just going to be in a bad mood the whole day, and that really wears you down.
This person said, Kesha, I think she said, money doesn't buy your health. When you're sick, money will leave naturally.
There's actually a saying that I really believe in. How did it go? It's you throw your health away to gain wealth, and then you throw your wealth away to regain your health. Something along those lines. It's a real thing.
It's the part where some people say you have to work hard when you're young, just focus on working, earning money, grinding and everything. And then when you're old, you usually pay for all the consequences, because most of the time if you're hyper focused on something, you neglect something else, for example, your health or your mental health, and then you're going to have to fix that when you get older, when you're retired.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've seen it from the older folks that I'm around, just people that work, again, with all due respect, they work their ass off their whole life, they work very hard, they provide for their family, they did everything they need to do, but at what cost? I get very sad whenever I see situations that, somebody's dad or mom or both, they work their ass off their whole lives, and then when they're older, they have all these health issues from the years of the stress, the grind, hard work. It's very sad, but it's just the way it is, unfortunately. Someone
in the comment section said, isn't happiness at least in part influenced by financial security? Of course it is. But what you define as financially secure is up to you, right? Are you the type of person that's trying to hoard an astronomical amount of wealth? Or are you the type of person that's like, oh, I just need this much to be happy and to survive? And then there's the question of, what is your happiness? What hobbies do you have? Are they freaking expensive? Are they normal? What is your lifestyle, right? So I do agree that money can bring happiness, but I don't agree with money is the source of your happiness, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Just Fun here commented, is happiness a good mindset? Me personally, I don't think money is happiness, but money is comfort, because that's just one less thing you need to worry about. In the same time, especially in Jakarta, I've been around people that are very, 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 very wealthy, and whatever they did, respect to them. And I've seen a lot of cases where more money brings more problems, and more problems means more stress, which is really crazy to comprehend, because some people, they think that, oh, if I had money, all my problems would be gone.
The more you have, the more you have to lose.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
So there is a new fear with having a lot of money, is losing all of the money, So that could also be an issue, right?
Here, Freed Pandang Fanda said, humans feel stress because they focus too much on their problems. That's a real thing. And the number one thing, in my opinion, that I see people stress about are things that other people put on them to stress about.
What do you mean?
So for example, let's say your health is good, your life is good, your career is good. What happens? Naturally, as human beings, we want more. Or in some cases, they're like, okay, I'm happy with my life. Somebody else in their life, whether it be their friends, family, they'll be like, oh, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? When are you going to get this house? When are you going to get this car? And it just piles on and piles on. And if you can't handle it, it's just going to wear you down.
Yeah. that is definitely a cause of stress. Yeah, other people telling you stuff that you should have, you should do, you should have already achieved. I think most young people can relate to that. Yeah, and today's economy is not particularly friendly to us too.
And for that very reason, I think our generation, I'd say millennials, Gen Z, and younger ones, we're going to be the generation that goes, life isn't about hoarding as much stuff as possible, isn't about making the most money possible, but instead it's going to be about where's the balance and happiness in your life. Because, end of the day, you decide what you want for your life. You want to be ultra wealthy, be ultra wealthy. You want to be someone that just gets by and, you're close to your family and friends and everything, then good for you. Don't let somebody else tell you how you should live your life.
I think most people forget to be grateful. They focus on things that they don't have instead of things that they have. And I think that's one turning point that could save your mental health, So focus on things that you have. Focus on things that, you like. Focus on simple things also. Appreciate the little things instead of always aiming for something that is, out of your grasp at the moment, I think that's something that people have to do.
100%. Being thankful, or in Indonesian, bersyukur.
Bersyukur.
It should be an anchor in your life, especially in this day and age where everyone's talking about when are you going to do this? When are you going to get that? It's always important to go back to yourself and, be thankful for what you do have, whether it be wealth. If you have parents that are alive and healthy, you're thankful for that. You have a younger sibling and they're doing great, you're happy for that. It's important to be thankful, very, very important to be thankful in your life. And if you're someone that's religious and all that, if you regardless of what religion you're in, just be thankful. Thank the man upstairs for everything he's given you. Just whatever works for you, end of the day.